Alrighty.
NOVN, Novan, naming a new chief commercial officer, announcing
Good morning, everybody.
acceptance of proposed brand name Kinsolis for SB 206 and molluscum
It
contagiosum.
should be. Earnings is going to be rough.
Victor November.
Still no cars on the road. Still no profits, if I'm not mistaken.
ACHB, Achieve Life Sciences, announcing FDA acceptance of IND application for cycline second planned indication for nicotine e-cigarette cessation. That's
What?
Alpha Charlie Hotel Victor, ACHB.
What are you even talking about, Charlie? I don't know. I don't know. Fuel cell is probably going to run today. I have a feeling the way that it's already moving in pre-market.
Jaguar Health completes filing of new animal drug application for conditional approvals.
If they don't do
CAT to test chemotherapy-induced diarrhea in dogs.
what?
That's JAGX.
What? Eating breakfast here, bro. Oh, yes. Mandingus, I'm about to show you my Netflix setup. So Upstart, Netflix, Fuel Cell, Square. I don't know why I have Square on my watch list again, but I do.
Manufacturing space. That's November Echo Tango Echo. NETE.
All right. Alrighty. I think we're good to go here. Yes. So I guess for everybody's sake, we'll go ahead and pull up these setups here. So Netflix almost deserves its own screen at this point, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the news and all that good stuff right after we get Charlie to just calm down here. Hold on, Charlie. I'm gonna turn you down, Bubba. Oh my God! Come on. There we go. Okay. Good morning, everybody on YouTube.
Check announcing grant of
All right, so yes, I am live on TikTok right now. Yep, that was a good video. Hopefully, you guys subscribe to him. So sometimes you gotta do that. Alrighty, so good morning, everybody. We are gonna go ahead and get started with our morning news. As soon as my oh, hold on. Apparently, my account is out of date. Hold on one second. Oh, oh my God. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. I had to go pull it up. Right off the bat, guys. Good morning. Good morning, Doran. So right off the bat, oh yeah, I've seen him. Wall Street futures and world shares were lower as investors focus on earnings and the Federal Reserve's two-day meeting, which ends on Wednesday. That is probably the biggest set of economic data that we have coming up so far. So pull that up. So the dollar edged up and gold was subdued as traders awaited cues on future interest rate hikes and rising inflationary pressures. Oil steadied near $85 a barrel, not far from the multi-year high, supported by signs that OPEC and other producers are falling short. Our other producer is falling short, although expectations of a rise in U.S. inventories are weighing. T-Mobile and Activision Blizzard are scheduled to report their earnings after close, are two of the biggest ones. We'll go over earnings here in just a minute. Nope. So Pfizer raises COVID-19 vaccine sales forecast to 36 billion in 2021. So Pfizer put that out that they will be raising their forecast for its COVID-19 vaccines by 7.5% as it signs deals with countries for booster doses and receives clearance for using its shots in children. Thomas Reuters raises full year revenue forecast. Thomas Reuters reported higher quarterly sales and raises in full year revenue forecast as news and information company benefited from recovering global economy. Nearly 90 countries have joined a pact to slash planet warming methane emissions. Nearly 90% have joined the US and the EU-led effort to slash emissions of the potent greenhouse gas methane 30% by 2030 and from 2020 levels. A pact aimed at tackling one of the main causes of climate change, a senior Biden administration official said. So, good morning, everybody. We are live on YouTube. The link is in the bio. Good morning. What's up, Tomas? What's up, Top Shelf? Um, yeah, CB is actually and now that I mean, especially with Black Rifle Coffee Company, any type of dip that you can see, and I agree with Atlas on that statement. I should have took it when I didn't have the news on it earlier. It was at $11, but regardless, Black Rifle Coffee Company has hell of a lot of social sentiment. Um, So I can't imagine that this won't go well. So I don't even know. I don't know anything about their profits or anything like that. But as far as social sentiment, I know a lot of Black Rifle drinkers. So anyway, besides that, we do have a slew of earnings here this morning that we're going to take a look at here. Or we have a slew of earnings moving into the rest of the week, not just today. Uh, so today, Pfizer, that already happened. So it might be worth taking a look or watching Pfizer today. Activision, Under Armour, Lyft, Corsair Gaming, APPS, T-Mobile, Zillow. Zillow actually, one of the reasons they fell, I believe, yesterday, is because they were so close to earning. Match Group has earnings, and those are some of the bigger companies that we're familiar with. And then going into tomorrow, Wednesday, picking back up with another. In fact, one of my favorite companies, Maxar, will be recovering. I own shares in Maxar. I'm in it for the long haul on that one. But Etsy, Roku, Fisker, QCOM, Skills, SunPower, EA, ton of companies coming in hot. So we'll be watching that one. We also have on Thursday, we've got Square, Rocket, Big C, GoPro, Uber, Airbnb, Pins, Nikola, Trash Company. And so, yeah, just a slew of earnings here finishing up the week. So hopefully we can get past. And if you guys take a look here at the economic calendar for today, today is November 2nd, which there's nothing on today's docket except for the FOMC rate decision. And that's going to be happening for the next 2 days. Now, the impact of that, I can't say, but a lot of the times, if anything they say ends up being negative, we'll feel it. Anything positive, we'll feel that as well. So, really quickly, so me and Justin have a similar watch list as far as Upstart is concerned. I am watching Upstart. He has a weekly flag. I just have a and I do think that we could see a pullback here at the bell, which I'm totally okay with. I'm watching for either a 340 pullback or a 345 pullback. I don't usually in pre-market. I'd like to see a low first, not a high. So it's in my opinion that we'll either tap 350 and then jerk back down, and then we'll look for a dip opportunity. But I am looking for this one to go and test its downtrend, which is projected to be around 363. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Wimmy.
GRPN and GOOGL, Groupon and Google team up to help Google Pay users grab life by the Groupon.
Grab life by the Groupon. Wow, you did it. GRPN, that's Groupon. They are absolutely sending it right now here in pre-market. So this one might end up being on the top of the watch list here. That's good news. They're partnering with Google. Looks like $25 is the nearest resistance that you have. Hold on one second.
That's Romeo Papa November. UAA, Under Armour company executive says that Under Armour store traffic continues to struggle in China.
Uh-oh.
Uniform Alpha following their earnings report. UAA.
I think patience will be key here today. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. On Groupon here, it looks like it's already fighting with R2, which is $25. So we'll keep that one on the watch list today. Maybe just set an alert here at the top of this wick, but that's pretty good news. We'll see how it reacts. Anyway, so I'm actually going to turn over and pull this up. So Netflix is on my watch list here this morning, and looking at the angle running off of this low here, seeing where we bounce, definitely a strong bounce off of something, which I'm projecting to be resistance, and then we get a nice decent bounce here. So Netflix to $700 is my price target potentially going into this. So you can see that we do have a rising wedge. So there could be time for consolidation. And again, I think that 700 on it could take a couple days. It could take just today. We could see it happen today. But I'll be watching Netflix above 685 or pre-market highs. Right now, it does appear that we're gapping up or have gapped up. So a pullback to 681 and watching that for a bounce. And that's a rising wedge. So I think inevitably we will fall. And on the daily here, we have plenty of time before earnings, but it's actually really, really interesting because on the daily, you also are showing signs of losing momentum. So anyway, Wimmy, yeah, I'm in Wimmy. I signaled that one in the chat. Now I'm probably gonna hold. If it ends up running really hard, then I'll hang on to it, or I'll take some profit, and then re-enter. Groupon. How have I been watching DDDD and now the entire Manny's got it on his watch list too. That's awesome. But I watched DD for months and it just left without me. Groupon GRPN. So I'm actually gonna write that down. GRPN. How's it going? Good morning, everybody. If you guys are on YouTube, or you guys are on TikTok, we are on YouTube. The link is in the bio for all of that. If you guys are digging the stream, make sure to hit that like button, and we'll take a look at what you guys are talking about here in just a minute. So after we finish the news, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Range finding. That's Michael Victor India Sandy, MVIS.
I missed that. What did you say? So Groupon reports new U.S. distribution deal with Google. That's wow. That's something. Where Google Pay users can now use Groupon's marketplace. So that's awesome. That's like Apple Pay. Excuse me. I'm not sure what BlackRock has on Zillow. Yes, Malhar. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment here. Anyway, besides that, I have a lot of alerts set. There's a lot of stocks with potential setups, but we do need to see some semblance of continuation here. So uh, I am watching I have alerts set, so they're not on my main watch list, but I do have the gap fill alerted for 110, a break over 110, and then half of that gap fill, which is going to be around 111.85, and then the gap filling at 113.60, or excuse me, 112.35. So there's a gap on Starbucks that I have an alert set on. Upstart is also again on my watch list, so I'm looking for this one to potentially test resistance today.
That's
And
A Hotel Tango Alpha.
Charlie, calm down, dude. You want to shorten that? Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. I was lost there for a second.
Spiking $34.09.
Who?
That's Hotel Tango Alpha HTA.
Healthcare Trust. Oh man, look at that flat. Oh my god. Oh, that's too late. I'm not taking anything with a gap like it on it. But anyway, this is Upstart for you. So watching Upstart. I also have Roku on watch as well. This one, it may end up staying at the bottom. It could even reverse again. It's sitting at a level where it could drop. I don't think so. 292.60. But right now, the goal is to get above. I have 325.50, basically 225 for a test of downtrend. I actually swung it into today, and right now we are up, but we are up against a lower time frame downtrend. So we're gonna need to basically get that breakout today. A little retest here, and then the target is just simply 323, 322. And that's gonna be a shorter play. So I'm not really looking for extra continuation unless we break this level on Roku. So the Roku 315 bounce. Yes, sir. Yeah, I have those moving averages right there. The 20-day EMA. If you bounce right there, that little supply, yeah. I and then what you have the trigger point 318. Roku earnings tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm just looking for a quick pop. I actually swung it into today, so it may be best to just watch that. So last one before I keep going, Facebook. So really, really interesting setup here. You guys can see it's a hot mess down here. But if you take a step back and you look at the hourly time frame, we have what could be, we could miss this gap, right? We rejected the gap. Or we actually broke into the gap, excuse me. We broke into the gap and then pulled right back down. So today, and here in pre-market, I guess we're up at 331. So we are kind of fluctuating up here, flat up against this resistance. So this is actually really, really interesting because now it's even more consolidated than it already was. That being said, if you take a look right here at this lower time frame support, we are pretty much squeezed up as tight as we can get. So I am looking for Facebook to break into that gap. That is more than likely going to be a scalp. The gap ends at 337.50. So you want to take profit into strength, not wait for the rejection that will inevitably happen at the gap fill. But I do have Roku set up, or excuse me, Facebook set up for a potential run into that gap. So yeah, yeah, well, Microvision, U.S. patent and trademark option abstract for scanned beam display of multiple detection and range finding. How's it going, everybody? Let's see. Might not be a might not be a run, or excuse me, might. Oh, Sony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It already had earnings. Oh, SNY. I don't know. I don't know anything about that one. Yeah, I'll take a look at your guys' stickers in just a minute here. Nice. Okay, so we've got Facebook here. Square. Okay, so Square's got another really tight setup here. This one can go either way, and we'll go ahead and set a range for that. So everything is running into ER, so obviously everything is going to be a little bit wonky, and we're not looking for extended runs. So right now, probably going to be doing a decent bit of scalping. Oftentimes, when we're in this tight of a situation, I'm going to go ahead and use my pivot points. And so looking at the pivot points right now, it actually matches where I would want to go ahead and set my entry. Um, you can scalp Square above 256 or 257 for a push up to 259. Past that pivot point, which I do expect a little bit of fight, we could see another leg up to I have 265. And that's only if we bounce and break above this pivot point. Otherwise, we may just sit flat going into earnings. So, CB,
That's UAA.
I don't see any reason why this is black right. So wait until everybody starts waking up. But it might not be is anybody in CB? I know I signal or I didn't even signal it. I just read it this morning. Tyler, did you get that? I am taking. I can look at some of the stocks on our YouTube channel, in the comment section. So you guys can hit the link in the bio if you wish. I just grabbed a little bit. Uh, I'll just add like 3 or 4 at a time. All right. Yeah, for sure. Hold on one second. So other than that, just to recap, we've got Square, we've got Upstart, Facebook. Oh, and Fuel Cell. So Fuel Cell is now going to be continuing their partnership with ExxonMobil. That's pretty big. That's access to a lot of dollars. So this one already had a pop in pre-market and actually broke this little channel that it was trading in. So right now, setting and holding $10 is the goal. Stepping out here to the hourly, I want to discuss something here on Fuel Cell. So Fuel Cell has a gap that starts at 1073 and closes at $11.18. I can imagine that is a potential target to the upside. So if you guys want to eyeball that target with me on Fuel Cell, we could see a strong move off that news. So anyway, other than that, of course, if I have a bunch of alerts, I did again. I will go over Netflix one more time. Uh, Netflix is also on my watch list with a rising wedge, which still allots me a run to potentially $700. So I'm even going to tweet this out on Netflix. I don't know if it's going to happen today. We will watch, but Netflix. Okay, so Hertz says deliveries of Teslas has already started. So who's lying? I mean, they're buying chunks at a time. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and split up my chart here. Oh, that's right. Remember that Groupon is also off of the news with Google. So watch Groupon as well. Hertz got delisted, so I don't know. Yeah, right. All right, so we'll go ahead. If you guys are in the Discord, take a look at your tickers really quick, or on the YouTube, we'll take a look at those as well. says that Charlie's talking. I don't hear him.
UA, Under Armour says with respect to first calendar quarter, expects revenues to be at low single digit rate. That's
Oh,
UAA. Redbook US retail sales first 4 weeks of October plus 15.7% versus October a year ago, plus 16.9% for the week ending October 30th versus a year ago.
so looking at the angle on this top right here, if you're watching Net Malhar, I am anticipating a $200 test potentially. That's going to come over 197.25 and potentially hit that 203, 201 level, where at that point I would expect a rejection at 200. So if you're watching Net, there is the potential there. If not, below 188, you'll start to see a downtrend here. If you look at the daily, it is about time. We tried to short it. We tried to short it right here. It did go to our target, ended up bouncing and moving up and making a higher high. So I have CB, yeah. Um, so that's net right now. The way that you ended this candle, it's going to be one of those things where if you do end up losing that psychological number 190, then I can only imagine that you'll go back for that retest. We're getting gassed out, but $200 almost seems priced in at this point. So watch net to go push to, and if you're short on it and it does end up rejecting $200, you can play the upside and then make that decision once you see the rejection. So reading these stories. Um, Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. If you guys are digging the stream, make sure to leave a like. I'm holding. Oh, that's a. Hold on a second. You know what? I'm gonna look at it because I just thought about it. So you know what? Now, you know what? Hold on a second. If is anybody in Merck? Does anybody have Merck calls? I actually think that Merck could go today and see $90 as well. Fuel cell puts. Why are you trying to play puts, Sam? Anyway, there's a good chance that we could see Merck make a new high today as well. If you go look at the daily, oftentimes when you get a doji like this can set you up for either a 3 bar play, where you'll get another nice move to the upside. But it does look really good. So um, if you guys are interested in taking Merck, I would probably set an entry either A above $88 or safer 88.70, using that previous day's wick. Look for good solid volume. If you got into CB now, we're at $13.66. Big old candle here. Yeah, so Sam, I don't know if you heard, Fuel Cell is partnering with ExxonMobil and it is now ripping. So, out of a flag, I'm not quite sure if that's going to end up being a good play quite yet. It does have a gap to fill on the daily. So, um, make sure that I have. I don't know. Sam, are you on or? Of course, Malhar. Um, so I think the next one, it's 9 o'clock, so we have a little bit of time here. If you guys are on the YouTube, I'll take a look at some of your guys' tickers too. Especially if you guys are members on here. We'll take a look. Good morning, Zach. How's it going, brother? I don't know if I covered what, Mike. What ticker are you talking about?
IR.
What are my thoughts on NAOV? We'll take a look at it. Thank you guys for leaving a like. I appreciate it. We're going to continue to chart here and get ready for our day. You guys can always hit the link in the bio. That's going to be the best place to talk to me there. You guys are asking me about Cat Girl or Shib or Elon Coin or Squid Game Coin. I don't know what you guys expected or anybody expected on a coin based on a show where only one person wins. But it's almost like it was in the story to begin with. So I don't really think there's any technical analysis there. You know what I mean? it was the Squid Games, and the guy who started the games wins. So anyway, and Cat Girl, I have no idea. And really, you can use technical analysis, but I'd just be careful, guys. These are speculative investments. If you're trying to make a bag off of them, don't be greedy. That use psychological numbers. But other than that, I have no. We're doing stocks right now, so if you guys are into those, that's all. That's cool. Do your thing. But right now, I'm a stock boy, no cat girl. Just going to continue to rock out on these charts. So,
Same wire we Utah. That's India Bravo Michael.
I wonder if he ever just gives up on trying to pronounce things. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna. I can't even do that. All right. So I think you were saying NXTD.
LDI, Low and People, announcing 11 new market openings and 3 market expansions. That's Lima Delta India, LDI.
So in its recent run, you can see that around the 50-day EMA, the body there, wicks here, has been a formidable force. And to yesterday, you had a lot of volume, and I think that's coming from the
market access in West Virginia.
busting Charlie's chops.
November, WYNN.
He doesn't even know who I am, and all this time just sitting here talking about him. Anyway, obviously a strong move. I think what's happening here is some sort of breakout retest. But that breakout retest will fail if you lose $5. If you lose $5, it's inevitable to me that you're probably going to see 445 and 450. He has spies everywhere. It's probably you, Doc. I'm just kidding. So that's what I would expect. This could end up playing out. It made a really good run. It ran all the way from $3, even lower, 260, all the way into the $7, $8 mark. So a little bit of a pullback and then consolidation to continue to build a supply or a demand zone for the future. This is kind of where you would want to establish that above that previous high. So if you can hold, reverse, and stay in this zone above $5, I think you're good to go. So, fuel cells making you feel some type of way. Did you short it, Sam? Yeah. Do you guys remember when I took Is CB gone? Oh, let's go, gang gang.
LZ and SQ, Legal Zoom partnering with Square to offer payment solution.
Oh, let's go, dude. I'm up on CB too. Let's go. Love it. It's probably gonna keep ripping.
SQ, Lima Zulu and Sandy Quebec.
Sony 123.50. Let's go. I love swinging this stock, guys. We're gonna swing this thing to 140. By God, I swear. Just kidding, no swear. Um, Minimal cash flow from this simple. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have a brief talk with you guys. I had this conversation last night, and the only reason I'm bringing it up because I want to bring it back up because I think it's worth bringing up. If you are trying to scalp and you are doing this on your phone, you're going to have a hard time. I and other admin and other traders can fill on a press of a button, right? Hotkeys. If you don't have hotkeys and you're trying to be a scalper, you should probably look into getting some hotkeys. In my opinion, it's one of those things where speed and efficiency is crucial, and being able to react as fast as you can, because that's how we capitalize on the shorter moves. So if you don't, and you're using Robinhood, and it's not, there's day trade scalp hybrids, right, where it runs for an hour and then you can take profit, sure. But if it's a scalp, I just want to reiterate that you're going to have a really, really tough time trying to get in and out of these trades in a similar fashion. Anxiety hits when you can't be efficient. When you're not efficient at what you do, which is fine because you can build efficiency. It can now. Justin does it. Justin in our chat, he's an admin. He can do it. He trades from his phone, but he's some type of human anomaly. I don't know how he does it, but he does. Otherwise, if you're new, he's not new. If you're new, please just keep that in mind. So, um, I've been using my phone. I you can use both. So, uh, yeah, Robinhood is rough. I tell people we will if you're really gung ho on or you're new and you just don't you maybe use Webull, but just go with a broker that's going to fill you quickly. Can give you good fills if you have the cash. Go to Interactive Brokers. Go to, you know. Yeah. What about it? Are you paying? Are you inputs? Are you inputs? I'm trying to find out. Sam is going to is if that's what he's saying. What are hotkeys? So your brokerage is going to. Do you feel you also need hotkeys to swing trade? No, just scalps, just specifically scalps. Sorry if you guys just to read it. If you're new here, if you're new to the YouTube channel, I appreciate you guys so much for leaving a like, dropping in, um, trying to help you guys prep for the day. But I cannot. There's three different chats that I'm trying to manage, and if I took everybody's request, we'd be charting until the bell and beyond. So obviously prioritizing those guys, and hoping that you guys are able to learn something. In the meantime, we are live, oftentimes at night during the weekdays, and we're also live every morning bright and early, so you guys can hop on and leave your request there. But I will do a couple of charts here, with the remaining time that we have. So yes, you said a GPN. Yes. So a non-player, what you can do, is, and that's a good observation right there. What you can do is, and is this right? I'm sorry. Yeah, you knew before I did. If you're new, you can look at other people's watch lists, see what they're watching, and you can see if it fits your trading style. If you are not, all right, let me say something. If you are not looking at the option contracts value and pre-market to get an idea of what they're going to end up running for, or whatever the case, you have to do that. You have to go and be like, okay, if this happens, and this is what I discussed with in my one-on-one yesterday. And going back, I scalped Tesla on live, or with him on the one-on-one, and I showed him how having a plan, not sorry, Doc, or Doran, to not to, but you remember this, like I showed him like what it looks like to have a plan and stick to it, right? And I knew exactly where I was going to cut. I knew exactly where I was going to hold. I knew exactly what level I needed to break, and I knew exactly where I was going to take profit. All of those questions were answered before I got into the trade. And so I just in scalping Tesla right here, right? I had a zone. We broke it. I took profit, 1175, and that is exactly what you need to do in pre-market. Set up a trading plan, right? Are you scalping this stock? Does it have the momentum? Where are you targeting it? Like do you have an entry and do you have an exit? The people who do that tend to trade with less anxiety because they know that they're okay with the losses, because most people can't never get past the I can't take a loss. You're going to take a loss. You will lose. It's going to happen to you. And the sooner that you accept it and you start saying, okay, I'm going to be strict about how I lose. If I lose, I'm going to lose gracefully, right? Rather than in a hot mess. So yeah, skin. So I try to do that every morning, and we're gonna dive a little bit quicker into all of these. So right now the plan is, with the stocks that I'm currently watching, Upstart. I'm waiting for a pullback, and the reason being is usually I do want to see some sort of pullback before the open, but it also has a kind of mysterious looking pattern right here where it could end up reversing on us. So the plan right now is to wait for the bounce and then set up from there, right? I'm looking for a pullback to potentially 342.55 or just somewhere down here. But I do like with Upstart, and I know Justin's taking this one too for a scalp. My target on Upstart to the upside is basically 360. Um, Sam, I would not. Why are you so stuck on fuel cell shorts? Why do you want to short it so bad? Don't develop an emotional attachment to shorting fuel cell. Just go long. Wait for weakness. You gotta if you're gonna really think if you're a shorter, that's fine, but you need to wait and think of it. I always word this wrong, but like more like in a predatorial fashion where you're like, okay, when it shows weakness, I'll short there. But with the partnership with ExxonMobil, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So anyway, I'm waiting for a pullback on Upstart. If we get the pullback to the mark that I'm looking at, which is going to be right around here, 341. From there, I will be using the same high, right, that I had before. So either A right here, or depending on how this looks. So if it bounces right there, it may be like this zone right here, 345, that I end up taking it. It's going to be an evaluation of volume. And then from there, I'm probably going to select the 350 contracts, 355s, and then take those up into this 360 level. So I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback. In my opinion, Upstart has a rising wedge, which is on the 15-minute. So a 50% retracement could either A, have you around 340, and that's where I'm going to look for a bounce. If it does bounce, I can either A, scale into a position on the bounce, or B, wait for that solid breakout level that I'm talking about, and then select the 355 or 360 calls. So 340 bounce. Any advice on one weekly call on Tesla? I mean, I think it's going to bounce personally. Okay, so really quickly, from there, I have a better setup. Upstart is kind of on the side. Netflix is really what I want to see run here. So first of all, Netflix, this one might get away too quickly. It does have a gap to fill. That gap fills at 381.42. So I will look for Netflix to hit that gap and bounce, and I will be using orb. So basically my opening range breakout. So we're going to be watching right here on Netflix. That's 684 candle or 685 candle close, not candle open or candle pop. It will more than likely pop, but if it holds that candle and I'm willing to wait, then that's what I'm going to be looking for there on Netflix. It could also stay in the pocket that I'm looking and consolidate further to give it more room to run to the upside. So I think just waiting and being patient here from that level of 685, I am going to be eyeballing the $700 calls. And again, the more that we consolidate here, the better chance that we have of making a solid run to $700. So really, the takeoff point could even be towards the end of the day for Netflix. If it takes off too early, then it's more than likely not going to make a significant or super strong run. So, um, Sony alone 2 days, I will make around 800%. Yeah, my Sony calls on the swing. I don't know if you guys. Somebody DM'd me last night and said, should they take profit on the ones that they had from last week? I was like, yeah, probably. Those are over 600%. So, but anyway, that's Netflix. Let's see here. SQ. So with SQ, 256, the 200-day EMA on, oops, excuse me, it's actually the 50-day EMA. So above 256, I'm looking for a retest of 260 on Square. And if you go down to the lower time frame here, you can mark out your orb as well. That's going to happen right there at 256. That's pre-market highs. Support, and you can look at this dynamic. This is 5 minutes, so right there. So you can see we're basically right there at support. So I'm watching Square for a bounce. If it falls down, I don't have a plan for the downside, nor am I looking to take it to the downside. So, wow. Um, Oh no, Sony is a long hold. You got to hang on to that sucker. So, do you know any other swing traders offering free or paid cuts or anyone in this chat? Uh, I mean, there are some. Top Shelf is one of the better swingers that I've ever met. When it comes to stocks. But I'm just kidding. Um, but as far as I'd have to look around. I'm sure there's people all over Twitter. Um, so anyway, sorry. Square looking at the 260 calls, and with the target, of course, of 260. So what about Sony put? That is there to go dead. That is what the Sony put is paying a little bit for insurance because guess what? If that's all you swung, I only set up straddles on Sony because I can utilize the very, very cheap weeklies out of the money to protect myself from the erratic movement of Sony. Sony can be on an uptrend and still gap down $5. And a $5 gap down is going to hurt your calls. So in order to hedge and be able to use those profits to buy the dip, I always grab a downside position. Always. I see that Dell is down. Um, I don't know. It's Dell. Wait, Dell is up. What are you guys talking about? Am I missing data or something again? Did you just grab Sony puts? See, I have Sony at 121.83 right now, so and you guys are more than welcome to take some profit off the table at that point. So, I would say Netflix is probably my most high probability play if we can get that bounce. Fuel cell. To be honest with you, I've already gone over the plan here or the setup on fuel cell. Fuel cell has a gap to fill to 1125. That's my mark. I grabbed equity on CB. Oh, you got the calls too? So, Hawk, you can either allow those to expire worthless or you can cut them for a loss. I buy them with the expectation of them probably being worthless and just cutting them. So, I have equity in fuel cell. I have equity in fuel cell. So right now on a good pullback, which this is looking like it's going to be, if it ends up going and breaking above those highs, 1030 right there, then I'll probably grab fuel cell. I'll be very clear though today about what I'm entering and what the trade is going to be. Especially with fuel cell and company, I think you could see sympathy movement across the sector. So things like Blink and stuff like that. Um, if anybody grabbed 100x, it's up 233. You should probably take some profit off of that thing. Don't get rug pulled. Um, so Tilray uh, went for a breakout retest coming out of a massive falling wedge. Looks like it's going to bounce here and potentially go test 1175. Do you guys hear what Top Shelf just said? Please remember that I have ample downside protection. So just in case. How much does a downgrade in price targets normally affect a stock? Well, it's not a good thing, but it also depends on who it's by. All right, Lucid has been hot on everybody's watch list. Guys, I think Lucid may end up falling. You did get an engulfment candle. You did get a rising wedge. I did call out a 3350 short. It is my belief that Lucid will likely fall to 3365 and then 33 even. If you lose 33 even, That's where things are going to get, excuse me, a little spooky, and you could see around $31. That's the target that I have on Lucid. So, um, to you, my language, sorry. Yes, I am still looking forward to Trip earnings. I'm short Lucid. Great job, Doran. Let's go. Make sure you have a target to take profit on. So $33 is a good place. Definitely going to get a small bounce back up to 33.75. And then you could see another drop there. So it is a heavily retail's heavy in this stock, so might see some volatility here. Already, it is 9:20. Um, I'm going to go over Apple really quickly, and then going to spend the rest of the time here with our Discord. So I do appreciate you guys, those of you on TikTok and YouTube, for hanging out with us. We will do a little bit more live trading, uh, probably towards the end of the week for everybody out there. But we will be going ahead and closing up. Unfortunately, we are our Discord, and I need to go make sure that's set. But our Discord is closed at the moment, so we do not have any more spots. For if you're on the trial, that's fine. But if you're not, unfortunately, we do not have any more spots. We're chock full. So for the time being, it's not permanent, but just for the time being. But feel free. We will probably go live at some point in the day today, maybe towards the middle of the day, or towards power hour. But anyway, you guys have a good day. I'll look at Apple really quick before I go. I think I talked about Apple the other day. In my opinion, it's literally this easy. Above 150, and we resume trend, and we can start looking at 160 based on a standard deviation channel that I have had set up here for quite some time. So running the standard deviation channel there, running it down, it looks absolutely perfect. Really nice trend. But to the downside, if we end up losing 145, or if we do end up using, or this doji ends up signifying a reversal, then that reversal will come right around 147.50. If you lose 147.50, then I can only imagine that the next target is the 145. 145 is right there in dead center, major support. You lose that, and then I still hold the 135 price target to the downside. I don't know where Apple is at right now. It looks like Apple is kind of gapped up, but you can see that it's very obvious that Apple's being kind of squished. So um, I would set a range on this right here and set a range on that. And if it goes down below this line, we're going to see further downside. If it goes down above this line, then more than likely we're going to see a push back up to 150. So take it as it comes. All right, Groupon, major rejection off of R2, $25. Roku, pre-market slipping above that resistance, just sitting flat. SQ sitting flat. Upstart looking wild. Probably gonna really need this thing to pull back before we end up running. Fuel cells looking okay. Hopefully we'll see continuation on that one. Netflix, wild, wild. Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of skipped that one. Um, So it looks like it's trying to recover, make its way back in. So I would say you're first right above you. You need to get to 150. If you can get to 150 and you sit there, start maybe even round out, then I would imagine you're going to go and test this resistance somehow. Now, the velocity and speed in which you do so, I'm not sure. Earnings is today or was today. So it looks like you're at 140 and oh man. So you actually rejected it. Do you see this support? Do you see how it runs down nice and clean? You did a breakout or breakdown retest. So unfortunately, unless it starts building some sort of reversal pattern, at the moment it does look like it could see continuation to the downside. So Yeah. All right. Thank you, YouTube. Uh, Matthew, that's a really good question. So my strategy, there's a lot of other people in our Discord besides me, and the goal is that people find what works for their personality and availability and develop their own strategy based off of things that they see work for other people, and they piggyback on those. If it fits their trading style and their availability, then they can adopt it and they can use it. But that's the goal there. But yes, I have. And did I miss the small account? Sony is always a small account gym for me. I swing Sony on small accounts all day. I love it. Watch you today, uranium people. So, all right. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you guys later. Make sure to follow the Twitter. I'll be tweeting out some stuff there. You guys have a good day. How do you add pre